So hello guys, we are waiting for 2 more minutes for more people to join and we are going to start with the session soon. Till then, if you have any queries, please ask in the comment section. Also, we have received some of the reviews that you want to continue the session in Hindi. If everyone is familiar with Hindi, please comment down in the comment section. And if everyone is familiar with Hindi and has no problem, we will continue the further session in Hindi itself. Okay, so I will use a mixture of both the language Hindi and English so that most of the people are able to understand better. Also, I would like to ask if you have any queries till now. It can be a simple query. You can ask it on your WhatsApp group. So that and please don't frustrate yourself that it is a small query or a big query. We are happy to answer your queries. So you are free to ask any type of queries on your WhatsApp groups. We will start at 5:05. Please wait for 2 more minutes. Okay, Ashish, the difference between RM and RM minus R is that RM command is used to delete a file, and RM minus R, minus R stand for recursive. It deletes the files recursively, means it can RM can delete only a single file, while RM minus R can delete a file based on a specific pattern. It can delete all sort of one type of file. For example, if you want to delete all the JPG files or all the images files in a directory, so you can use rm minus r star dot extension. Then it will remove all the similar files in from the computer. But rm command cannot remove all the similar files. My screen is not visible because I have not shared it. I am sharing the screen now and we are starting with the session. So is my screen visible now? Is my screen visible and am I audible now? Okay, so let us start with today's session. So today we are going to start with Linux shell and we are also going to revise the concept of kernel, which I have explained. So at the base level, we are here. We are the user of a command. And what user do? User passes a command. So the first step that happen is user passes a command. It is the first step that happens for any shell process and for any kernel process. And then the command is input. We type the command and the command is input. So the command is input into the shell. Further, command is input into the shell. So it is the second process which happens. Then shell. What shell does? Shell send a request to the kernel. Shell send a request to the kernel and ask the shell and shell ask the kernel to execute a command. Here shell is acting as the application which I explained, and the kernel asks the hardware to perform a specific operation. The hardware performs the operation and replies back to the kernel. After the hardware reply back, the output is given to the shell from the kernel, and shell delivers the output to the user. So this is the process which was used in Linux shell and is not currently used. It was used, but you need to get a better understanding about this so that you can understand the process which is currently being used. तो अब शेल क्या करता है? शेल एक्ट एज ए इंटरमीडिएट बिटवीन द यूजर एंड द कर्नल. शेल का काम ही यही है कि शेल एक्ट एज इंटरमीडिएट. आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग शेल आल्सो. शेल acts as an intermediate between the user and the kernel. It belongs to application layer of an operating system. So as I told you, there are three layers of an operating system. The base layer is the kernel layer, then libraries, then application layer. So shell make use of the libraries and act as application layer, and shell processes the command and send them to the kernel. So I think shell is clear to you. If shell is clear, then please, if any one of you know about any of the shell, can you please specify any of the examples of the shell? अगर किसी को किसी शेल के बारे में पता हो जो एग्जिस्ट करता है तो प्लीज उसका नाम कमेंट सेक्शन में Hello, am I audible? Okay, I am repeating what shell is. So can you please repeat what shell is once more? So Ravi, shell is an intermediate between the user and the kernel. Shell takes the input from the user and passes the input to the kernel after validating it. And kernel processes the request with the hardware, and hardware replies back to the shell, and shell then prompts the output to the user. So shell is the intermediate between the user and the kernel. I hope you got it. Also, there are various shell present as you have replied in the comment section also. So there are a number of shells available in the market, and Bash is the most famous shell. The full form of Bash is born again shell. There are also various other shells available. For example, SH shell and TESH shell, KSH shell, CSH shell, and various others. So there is a confusion between most of the students, and the confusion is that students compare terminal and shell together. There is a terminal in Linux. This is a terminal available in Linux. And this terminal is not the shell. Terminal and shell are completely different thing. So let me mention it. Terminal is not equal to shell. Bash is a part of shell. No, Bash is not a part of shell. I mean, Bash is a type of shell. Yes, it is a type of shell. It is not a part of shell. So terminal is not equal to shell. So what exactly shell is? And what is a terminal? For that, terminal is a software that connects us with the shell. And shell is the concept. Shell is a concept, and terminal in Linux is a type of software that connects the user with the shell. As shell is a concept only. And what is the default shell in the Linux? So the default shell in the Linux is Bash shell. Bash is the default shell in the Linux. So let me show you a command which shows the how many shells are present in our device. So if we cat slash etc slash shells shells, so it will show you the number of the number of shells present in our device. So let me show it to you. Cat slash etc slash. So these are the shells which are currently present in my system. You can also try it yourself in your device. The number of shells can vary depending on the operating system. For example, I am using Fedora. So in Fedora, these can be the default shells present. In Ubuntu, there can be different. In Red Hat can be different. So these are the shells which are present in the Fedora operating system by default. Guys, please ask any queries if you have. Okay, so let us continue further if you don't have any queries. So as I told you, this was the process that our shell was following. But the process that our shell was following has a little drawback. This process has a little drawback. So the process was discarded and an extra layer was added to the project. For example, if we type a command and the command is passed on to the shell, so how will shell know where the command is located? So we need to specify where the command is located so that shell can work. So a path variable was added to the shell and the functioning of the shell was changed. So let us see the difference now, how our new things work. For example, there is a user. On the other hand, if the user passes a command, let me create a diagram and I will. And the command is provided to the shell. Now what shell does? There is a huge directory. जैसे कि अपना कंप्यूटर बहुत बड़ा है तो उसके अंदर हर एक जगह को देखना पॉसिबल नहीं है. So there comes some time where we have to specify path in Windows also, which where we have to set environment variables also. So shell look at the path and checks if the command is present. Shell checks in the path and check if the command is present. And if a command is not found, if a command is not found, then path prompts back to the shell that the command is not found. And if the command is found, then the request is initiated to the kernel. And after the request is initiated to the kernel asks the hardware for the support, and hardware executes the command and provides the output to the kernel. This is sixth, sorry, and this is fifth. So the kernel pings back to the shell after processing the command, and the seventh step is taken place. And if the command was not found with path, the output is given to the shell only. Now the output of the command is given to the user. And this is the after the introduction of path variable. This is the chart and this is the pipeline which is followed and not the existing pipeline. So are you all comfortable with the introduction of path variable in the shell? I think I should move further. So what is path? Let me introduce you to the concept of path and explain you what path is. So path variable stores the location of the commands that are present to be found and run by the shell. Path variable stores the location of the commands to be found or run by the shell. And the path variable in Linux is same as the path variable in Windows. So how to check what are the files present in the path? So the path is a variable as I told you, and we can print the value of a variable using the dollar symbol. Dollar symbol helps us to print the value of a variable. Dollar helps to print So let us see what is the value of path variable in Linux and use the dollar symbol to access the value of path variable. So let me move to my prompt. I don't know why it is not working. Till it restarts, let me show you something. So there are various variables available in the Linux. So let me introduce you to some of them. The path variable, which gives the location of path separated by colon. So the path variable gives us the location of the path separated by colon. The shell variable. Shell variable gives the default shell. And the user variable. What user variable does, it tells us about the currently logged in user. And the variables can be accessed by using the echo command and then using the dollar symbol to print the value. So how they will be accessed? They will be accessed using echo dollar variable name. In our case, the variable names will be path, shell, and user. So can you please wait a minute? And if you have any queries, you can ask till the OS restarts. There was some problem with the OS. So please feel free to ask your queries. As there are no queries, let me continue with the session and I will show you the command in action as soon as the OS restarts. Till then, let us continue with the theory session. echo dollar shell and which shell. Which shell will tell us the location of the command shell if there is any command shell present in our Linux operating system. And echo dollar shell will print the value of the variable that is present in the operating system. So echo will print the value and which will tell the location. So this is the main difference between which and echo command.
Guys, there is a fun question for you all. Can we change the IP address of our system? This is a fun question for you all, and this is a task one we are giving to you. And today, I think you got a task from Kshitij also, task which you need to complete before the session ends of Linux. I think yes, Kshitij.
Yes, Arthak, I will provide them a task today and they need to complete them for getting certified with Linux. Okay, guys, so let us continue further with our session. So, there are two types of shell variables which are available in the Linux operating system. So, the two types of shell variables that are available with us in the Linux operating system are system defined and user defined. So, these two variables are present in our Linux operating system. System defined variables are the variables which are defined by the system itself, and user defined variables are the variables that are defined by the user. We can also define the variables by using the simple syntax in Linux, and the syntax is variable name. We use export command, export variable name is equal to value. So this is the command which is used to assign a value to a variable which is a user defined variable. Okay, the system is booted up. So let me show you the commands. So let us come back and see how to access a variable which is present. Yes, for the today's question about changing the IP, we will create a post on LinkedIn, and you have to answer over the LinkedIn post that how will you change the IP address of a Linux operating system, and you need to provide the approach by using the CLI, not by using GUI. By GUI, it is easy to change the IP address of a device, but we want you to try the same with the CLI mode. Hmm. So my terminal is loading better. So there are various variables present as I told you earlier, and let us access the one of the variable named shell. So we will echo dollar and shell. So it give me bin bash. So bash is the default shell present in my device, and if I echo $user, so it will print the currently logged in user, which is present in our, which we are logged in through. And if I print the value of path, so these are the locations of the path, and these are separated by colons. The colon act as a separator between the path variable. I hope everyone is familiar with the concept which I have told you till now. Let us proceed further and look with the command. So there are two types of command that are present in our Linux operating system. One is internal command and one is external command. Internal command are the command that are present with the OS, and external command that can be installed or uninstalled are, these are the commands which are present externally. For example, the commands which are present in the path are known as external commands, as they do not come with the operating system. So let me echo path to you again. And if I see the location of which cd, so cd is present in /usr/bin/cd, and cd and echo, these are two of the commands that are internal commands of the Linux, and other commands are the external commands. And if a command like I am typing ls, but ls is present, when I see the location of ls, the ls is present in /usr/bin/ls. So what if I type the wall command? usr, sorry, I missed the r. So the command will be same if I type the wall command or if I type a smaller command. It is only the path variable is checked, and the path variable provides the location of the commands, and then the command is executed. So the task for you guys is to study a command in Linux. There is a command called pv. Pv command is Linux, and I am asking you to study about the pv command and write a simple blog about it, and we will share a Google form, and you have to upload the blog on the Google form. What is pv command and how it is used? So this is the task for you, and it is one of the tasks which you will be evaluated. You have to write a blog about the pv command with the screenshots of the uh, execution, that how you have executed the commands. Sarthak, please share a Google form after the session, and please keep it open till Monday. The deadline of the task is till Monday, and you have the weekend left for this task. And the classes will not be happening over the Saturday, Sunday, so it will continue on Tuesday itself. Tomorrow will there will be session, but on Saturday, Sunday there will be no session. So let us move further to the bash shell. Let me show you an interesting command. There is a command in bash history, which tells me which command I have executed till now. So there was some question from you guys that what is this 670? This is a number of commands that I have executed. For example, when I see in history, this is 669. And next command that I will execute, will be 670 and will be shown to its history. For example, I type history as I type ls. So the number will be increased to 671. And when I see history, there will be a command ls in 670, and 671 will be history. So PV does not work in your system, Guinea, because you need to install PV first. So please study about the PV command and let me know from the internet. You can study from the internet, and you can install PV using the command which I am sharing now, sudo apt dash get install pv. This is for the Ubuntu, and yum install pv for rpm based. So these are the command to install the pv command in your Linux operating system. You can further look at the internet and can get a deep knowledge about it. So I want you to learn, because everything I cannot teach you because of limited time, and the concept available is very large. So I told you about the history command. So what history command did, it printed out the history which I have used till now, and it printed everything. Is my screen paused? ER creation is saying that my screen is paused. Is there something like my screen paused? So there are various shell available. Let us move to the bash shell. So guys, please do let me know in the comment section what is the full form of bash. As I told you earlier, what is the full form of bash, guys? Please reply enthusiastically in the comment section. Guys, please do let me know, as there can be a buffer time of 30 seconds in the okay. So Hayat has answered it right. Born again shell is the full form of the bash shell. And the history command, which I showed you currently, the history command is not a command of the Linux. History command is a feature of bash shell, and the history command is provided only by the bash shell, not by any other shell, and bash is the shell which is present. So if we want to run a command from the history, for example, I am using the history command, and I want to run the command that is present on number 670. So I need not to type the command again. I will use exclamatory mark, and I will type the number which I want to run, 670. So it will automatically ls, and I need not to type the command again. The command will be executed automatically. And in case I want to type the last command which start with W, for example, here I see H, C, H, L. So which ls is the command that start with W? So I can also use exclamatory mark and W. So it will go through the commands and execute the first command through which the symbol is met. For example, it met with which ls. So it executed automatically the last command which was the matching with the thing. Okay, I will remove the dot question mark, and let me tell you again. Let me tell you again. I am repeating. For example, there is a history command which I have executed, and there are in history command I want to execute the ls command, and ls is a small command, but assume there is a huge command in Linux, so I do not want to type it again. One approach is I will use the up key and go to the command and execute it. Another approach is I will use exclamatory mark and type the number present before the command. 642, oh sorry, 642, no, 674. 674 is the number. So I will type 674 and I will press enter. So the command ls will be executed. And if I want to execute a command which was starting with C, For example, clear is the command here, and I want to execute the command which was starting with C. I will use exclamatory mark and I will use C. So it will search to the command and automatically execute the command which it messed with in the last. So these are some of the shortcuts to use with a bash shell. And guys, please remember that these are the properties of the bash shell and not the property of the Linux. So the functionalities here are provided by the bash shell, not by the Linux. And as I told you about the history, there is a limit up to which history can be stored. After the limit is exceeded, the history is deleted. For the limit, we can use, there is a variable in the Linux, his size. So currently the history size is 1000. So if I execute more than 1000 command, the command which was executed at the first will be discarded and the new commands will be stored in place of the old command. So the Linux operating system by default can keep track of 1000 commands, but we can change it according to our need. So his size is the variable which is storing the history size. If the size of history increases, then our number will keep on increasing, but the history is removed from the top. Also, I need to tell you that the history, the history which I am using is not similar for all the users. History is not common. History is different for all the users and maintained in the home directory. And the history size, the location of the path, even the location of the path can be different for different users, and a default some default settings are applied when a new user is created. Okay guys, please wait a minute. I will connect in 2 minutes.
Guys, is there any doubt till now? If you have any doubt, you can ask. If you have any doubt, you can ask.
Yes, if you have any doubts, you are free to ask. Then I will continue with the last topic of the session.
Kshitij,
Yes, Sarthak.
can you explain the last shell part in Hindi? Actually, some of the students are not understanding this part. Shell part,
Okay,
last
okay,
shell part,
okay,
bound
okay.
shells
Let
and
me explain the shell part in Hindi. Can you please repeat the two tasks? फर्स्ट टास्क इज दैट पहला टास्क ये है कि जिसको समझ में नहीं आया हो कि आपको ये बताना है कि आप आईपी एड्रेस थ्रू टर्मिनल कैसे चेंज कर सकते हो। और सेकंड टास्क ये है कि एक पीवी कमांड होता है लिनक्स में, आपको उसकी वर्किंग के बारे में बताना है और उसका एग्जीक्यूशन करना है। उसके थोड़े स्क्रीनशॉट लगा के एक डॉक्यूमेंट बना के हम आपको एक फॉर्म शेयर करेंगे, उस पर अपलोड करना है एंड वी विल रिव्यू योर वर्क। After reviewing your work, you will receive the certification from our end.
so basically, there are two tasks. The task number one is you need to check how we can change the IP in our system through CLI mode, and the second task is you need to write a Word document or a blog for a PV command with proper screenshot and some content regarding it. Any other doubt?
Okay, Sarthak, let us continue further with the session.
Okay. In next 3 to 4 minutes, I will share a Google form of attendance, and you need to mark your attendance. Uh, Second thing is that after 6:10, after 6:10, the form will close. So please mark the attendance before 6:10. 6 o'clock, this session will over. So you have 10 minutes to fill your attendance. It's not a big task. Second thing is that we will share a LinkedIn post on your respective group. Please, guys, comment on that particular LinkedIn post, your learning, your feedback. Either it is good feedback or a bad feedback. Let us know what you are thinking and how you are doing. If you are doing great, then we continue with some more things. And if we are not doing something great, or if we are lagging somewhere, so we will get to know all these details. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, guys, let us continue with the session further. So in bash there are some hidden files. अब जो बैश है हमारा उसके अंदर थोड़ी हिडन फाइल्स प्रेजेंट हैं जो हर एक यूजर के लिए हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, there is a file bash history which is stored in a variable hist file. So let me echo the hist file variable. So there is a file in slash root and the file name is dot bash history. Anything that start with dot in Linux is a hidden thing. When we let me try to view the content of the file cat slash root slash dot bash history. So the bash history file contains all the commands that I have executed. तो जो अपनी
Kshitish, are you
bash
there?
history file है, yes सार्थक.
Uh, there is a concept known as bronze. Students are saying bronze shell again. So can you repeat that concept only? I think they are having lots of doubt in this
Bash
particular concept.
is
I think they are saying bronze again shell.
born again shell bash. It's the full form of bash,
Oh,
and
sure.
there
Sorry,
is
sorry, sorry. Please.
no of such concept that I explained about. I am only continuing about the bash shell.
Okay, great.
So there is a file in the shell in our Linux operating system, and that is hist file. So I am echoing the hist file again. So this is the location of a hist file, and it is also specific for different users. तो जो हमारी hist file होगी वो हर यूजर के लिए अलग अलग होगी और हमारी hist file के अंदर ही हमारी सारी की सारी हिस्ट्री स्टोर्ड होगी और हर यूजर की होम डायरेक्टरी पे ये प्रेजेंट होती है. इसी तरह से एक हमारी डॉट बैश आरसी फाइल होती है. तो इसके अंदर और एक हमारी फाइल होती है बैश प्रोफाइल. ये दोनों प्रोफाइल भी हमारी होम डायरेक्टरी पे प्रेजेंट होती हैं. और अगर हमको किसी वेरिएबल को परमानेंट बनाना है, जैसे कि मैं अगर कमांड लिखता हूँ x इज इक्वल टू 5 और एक सेकेंड पहले एक्सपोर्ट लिखना पड़ेगा. एक्सपोर्ट x is equal to 5. Wait a minute. Let me see the syntax. So exporting a variable. I'm using export x equal to 5. So when I use the echo $x, so it will prompt 5. But as soon as I close my terminal and I try to access the variable again, so the existence of the variable will not be there. मतलब कि जब तक हमारा टर्मिनल चल रहा है तब तक तो वो वेरिएबल रहेगा. अब अगर मैं echo $x करता हूँ तो ऐसा कोई वेरिएबल एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता है. बट अगर हमको कोई वेरिएबल को परमानेंट बनाना है तो हम उसको परमानेंट बनाने के लिए x इज इक्वल टू 5 इस चीज को हम अपनी बैश आरसी या बैश प्रोफाइल में लिख सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, आई एम echoing x is equal to 5 in dot bash rc file, and if I restart the terminal, I need to restart the terminal once, but now the variable will be present in the terminal. Echo $x, and x is present as 5 in the terminal itself. So bash rc and bash profile ये दो कमांड्स हैं हमारे लिनक्स के अंदर. ये दो फाइल्स हैं इन दो फाइल्स के बारे में हम आगे देखेंगे कि बैश आरसी और बैश प्रोफाइल में डिफरेंस क्या होता है। टिल देन अगर आप लोग एक्सप्लोर करना चाहें कि बैश आरसी और बैश प्रोफाइल फाइल में क्या डिफरेंस है, सो यू आर वेलकम। एंड there is there will be a shootout for the person who will find the difference between bash rc and bash profile file. And whoever find the difference, please ping me on my LinkedIn and share the answer. Let us see who can do this. Also, let me tell you about aliasing. Aliasing is something that when, for example, try to which ls command, so it is telling that which ls has an alias which automatically allocates the color. For example, there is a command in Linux. There is a huge command in Linux. For example, there is a history command in Linux, and I want to execute the history command. But I want to execute the history command only by typing h. H is not a command in Linux. So I can alias history command with h. I can do it using alias h is equal to history. So when I use h, it will automatically show me history. So it can be a shortcut. So we can alias anything. And to make our alias permanent, we need to specify the alias in bash rc or bash profile file. So you can also make the aliases permanent. So this was the last concept to be taught today. And I hand over the session to Sarthak. If you have any further queries, you can ask, or Sarthak, you can finish the session today.
Thank you everyone to be in the session. And I think no permission is there.
Sarthak, some
Permission is
people
there.
are. Okay, okay,
Permission is
permission
there.
is
You
there.
can open the. Please, please. And Kshit's LinkedIn profile in the description, and I
Yes,
will get. Is in the description. Mentor profile is in the description. He's the founder of Dot Question Mark, and the lead of this NEEV part.
Sarthak, people are still
Here is the
asking for the
profile.
permissions only. Please check if it is.
Kshitij, I think no permission. No, I think from my side there is a permission granted to everyone. Actually, I've got till now I have got 11 responses. So I think it's.
Okay, okay.
Could you please,
Yes,
everyone,
yes.
please
Saf has
refresh
confirmed
the
that
page.
it is opening now. Saf has confirmed
Please
it.
refresh it now. Okay, okay. And from my side, it's we are good to go. If you have any doubt regarding this today's session or previous session, so please go through the doubts. No, go through the session once and then ask your doubt on our Telegram channel. And today, a great day. Thank you, everyone.
Sarthak,
Tomorrow,
also there is a learner.
uh, I think your alarm has been ringed.
Wait, wait, wait. There was sir. There is a learner Nancy Jan, and she is writing to the summary, tagging you me and dot question mark. She is doing a great job.
Uh,
Please
I saw
shout
her.
out for.
I saw her. Could you please present your screen?
Actually, my internet is not working good. I was presenting the screen.
Yes, yes, yes. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
If you can.
Yes, sure, sure. Wait, wait for a while. Guys, do subscribe the channel because we need to ping you every time there is a session. There is a session. So please subscribe the channel. It is something motivating for us. Uh, Guys, Wait for a few more seconds. I'm sharing the post link also. You can watch the post. And
S-
yes,
Sarthak, I
my
have
screen
shared the
is.
screen. I have shared this. Okay, you have shared. Okay, I'm not sharing it.
I think my screen is visible to all. My screen is
No, there is
visible.
some issue with the screen. Can you please reshare it? Okay, now it is visible.
So guys, she is Nancy Jain, and she is writing the blog, sharing all the content what Dot Kushamake is giving to you, providing all the content, and I think she is learning, very very faithfully. I think so. Faithfully is a great word to say. And thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Attendance link on the. Thank you for joining us. Attendance link is on the screen here. See the attendance link.
I will also
Actually,
add the attendance link in the description for next 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, the attendance link will be removed from the description.
thank you for joining us. Bye bye. See ya.